But that ocean belongs to me. Because where is my ocean? I am entitled to that ocean. In future, we are going to have wars.
Kenyans think we need their opinion. This was a manifesto launch. The Indian Ocean, former Indian Ocean, now the Ugandan Ocean, was promised to us in the manifesto. So we don't seek for your opinion, Kenyans.
I give Kenya 8 hours to surrender the Indian Ocean to Uganda.
Cheki Ruto, unangoja nini mjama? Museveni amesema katambi. Hata pia ya kishangori msee. Kwanza hii vita hata isiku ya wanajeshi ni sisi mtu wangu. Ni kufunuana mtu wangu. Wale watu tunaweza wakota. Ai. Kwanza hakuna kitu nimekuwa nikingoja kama hii ngorikai. Yaani president yote Afrika asemeniaje tunakuja uona Kenya, unaona? Ai, wacha katambe. Ruto, pia bonga, usipobonga wacha tunicheze tu chini.
Mimi nimenyamaza, mimi nimewavumilia, lakini mahali imefika. Enough is enough.
And I'm not threatening anybody. It is what we will do. So it's not a threat. Msifikiri ati ni kutisha watu. Hakuna kutisha.
Museveni's frustration, the endless negotiation. What Museveni was saying in essence is this: I have been negotiating access to the Indian Ocean for over 30 years. And every time I finish with one Kenyan president, a new one comes. And we start again from zero. He wasn't joking. Uganda, being landlocked, depends heavily on Mombasa port for imports and exports. Oil, cement, machinery, food, and everything. So every president he deals with controls the economic lifeline of Uganda. The real issue is control of trade corridors. Uganda's biggest challenge is that Kenya controls the gate, the Mombasa port, the SGR railway, and the road routes through Eldoret to Malaba. Every deal Museveni signs is supposed to make that gate smoother, but Kenyan politics turns it into a toll gate. Under Moi, the focus was road transport and custom controls. Uganda paid heavy fees and bribes along the northern corridor. Under Kibaki, relations improved. Kibaki started serious work on infrastructure, roads, port expansion, one-stop border posts. Museveni liked him because he was predictable. Under Uhuru came the SGR and the Lapsset corridor vision. Uganda initially agreed to extend the SGR to Kampala, but they wanted guarantees. China wanted both countries to commit funding. Uganda hesitated. Kenya wanted control, and the deal froze halfway. Under Ruto, things are tense. Ruto reversed some port agreements, recentralized cargo handling back to Mombasa, and tightened the financial laws. Museveni feels like he is starting from scratch again. And this is why Museveni looked angry. His anger is not with Kenyans. It's with the instability of Kenyan policy. Every 5 years, he must renegotiate with a new boss who wants a different cut, a different deal, and a different ribbon-cutting ceremony. It's like paying rent to a new landlord every time the building changes hands. He knows what he wants: seamless access to the ocean, predictable costs for Ugandan goods, control over how cargo destined for Uganda is handled. But Kenya's internal politics, patronage, cartels, and regional interests make that impossible. The dry port in Eldoret. You are right about this. Museveni pushed for a Uganda dry port within Kenya, so that once goods arrive in Mombasa, they are transported inland and processed as if they have already entered Uganda. It reduces delays and bribes, and Uganda can collect its own customs revenue. Uhuru agreed to this plan, extending the SGR toward Naivasha and planning for regional connectivity. Ruto later criticized it as serving Uhuru's friends, even though the logic was regional integration. So now, Museveni's project is halfway alive. The railway stops at Naivasha. Uganda is still tracking goods by road, and regional trade is lower than ever.
Uganda wants to go to war with Kenya. The president of Uganda, grandfather Museveni, has just announced that whether Kenya likes it or not, they are going to shake the Indian Ocean. Mind you, the Indian Ocean doesn't pass through Uganda. Uganda is a country that is surrounded by lands. You understand? Uganda is all their bordering countries. Uganda is not a country that is beside the sea and all of that. All these countries surrounded by lands. And President Museveni's problem is that his country cannot have a navy base. That's his problems. He said his country deserves a navy base, so in case of an attack, his country can defend himself, you know. And now he says that the Indian Ocean is his own. He owns it. He owns the Indian Ocean, and he is commanding Kenya that if Kenya does not give him the Indian Ocean, Uganda and Kenya, they are going to go to war. Let me say this. I know some people in Kenya will say, oh, Uganda is a small country as compared to Kenya. But go and check. Uganda recently received military aid worth billions of dollars from Russia. What billions? For a president to stand up and say he's declaring war with another country, you have to understand that he has prepared himself for something like this. He has prepared himself. He's highly prepared. Because he knows that Kenya also is not a small country for him to open his mouth and say something like that. And you have to also understand again that Museveni has fought wars before. He fought a war to become the president of Uganda. While being in the bush, he fought a war in the bush. He was staying in the bush. He was a soldier. So he's experienced when it comes to war. Ruto is just a politician. Ruto is not a veteran. He has never fought war before in his lifetime. I don't think so. So you have to be Kenyans. Let's leave jokes aside. You guys have to be very, very careful because you guys can sit today and just see boom, bomb starts exploding in your country. And we all know Kenya has been one of the peacekeepers in Eastern Africa. If there was no Kenya in Eastern Africa today, Eastern Africa would have been a chaos. They have been one of the biggest peacekeepers. That is why they have been backed by so many countries. Russia and the United States backs Kenya. Because Kenya is the one keeping the stability. If there is no stability in Kenya, Eastern Africa will be complete chaos. So, I don't know what's happening over there, but the situation has to be settled. It has to be settled. I don't know how, but it has to be settled. One love.
So, Kenyans, we Ugandans, we need part of the Indian Ocean. I can assure you. There is no way you guys can have full access to that Indian Ocean when us we have no way to access it. The only way to access it is through you guys. You had the president's statement. The Indian Ocean, part of it belongs to Uganda. In fact, the whole East Africa is supposed to have a share of that Indian Ocean. I don't know whether these other countries want to talk about it. These of Rwanda, Burundi, South Sudan, or maybe for them they are comfortable not having access to the Indian Ocean. But for us here as Uganda, we need part of that ocean. So I don't know how you guys are planning to deal with it. Either you give us part of your land that can, let's say from Uganda, you give us part of your land that leads up to the ocean. So I don't know exactly how you guys are going to deal with it, but want to give you some time to first think about it. Yeah, you first brainstorm. Now, for the meantime, just know that Indian Ocean that you're seeing belongs to Uganda. I can assure you.
But that ocean belongs to me. Because where is my ocean? I am entitled to that ocean. In future, we are going to have wars. In the future, we are going to have wars. How can you just watch these people? You are really endangering yourself. How can you have a situation like this? Uganda is landlocked inside here. But where is my ocean? My ocean is the Indian Ocean. So, this is madness.
That is the type of president we have in Africa. That is the Ugandan president. That is the Ugandan president saying there will be problems, oh, there will be war, oh, blah, 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 between Uganda and Kenya because of the Indian Ocean. Like, yo, even if we want to put it like face to face, is he ready? Does he have the necessary equipment to face Kenya? And why should we even be using that? Like, if you know you cannot mediate, you cannot do things right, you cannot serve your people again in the right form, step aside. Give another person a chance to rule Uganda. Maybe they can, just give another person the chance to rule Uganda, and let's see if the person's administration will be able to come to a positive term with Kenya. If you are tired, step aside. All this inside of hate and war and battle and my ocean. You are ocean? I'm cooked, bro. I'm cooked.
Kenyans think we need their opinion. This was a manifesto launch. The Indian Ocean, former Indian Ocean, now the Ugandan Ocean, was promised to us in the manifesto. So we don't seek for your opinion, Kenyans.
Have you all watched that trending video where the Ugandan president, Yoweri Museveni, is clearly heard saying that the Indian Ocean belongs to him, as in it is his property? As in the Indian Ocean, that Indian Ocean that you know, belongs to him. And he clearly warns against future war. As in... These African presidents, yo, what is going on? As in, he needs the ocean now to start transporting his goods to the Western world. As in, he needs the ocean, to start training his navy. Yo, he all should be warned. War is coming because Museveni has said so. Hey, Ugandans, your election is coming soon. You know what to do, right?
Kenya's Ministry of Foreign Affairs has downplayed threats of war issued by Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni over access to the port of Mombasa and the Indian Ocean, insisting Museveni is well aware of international territorial laws. But experts warn that his remarks, including a claim that he, quote, owns the Indian Ocean through Kenyan transit, risks straining bilateral relations and the cohesion of the East African community. NTV's Laban Shaban reports.
Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni is seeking another mandate come January 2026. Museveni is eyeing his 8th consecutive term since seizing power in 1986.
Come and you stand around here, and I don't have the strength to go and stand there.
It is against...
Mr. President, even the River Nile, we don't want water to go all the way to Egypt, Tunisia, all the way to Libya without them paying. Please, sir. Tugeushe hiyo River Nile ende kwa la moja. You see, we have a lot of unresolved issues. Left. He was claiming some territory which Kenya took and Tanzania took. And they think we are joking. Kenyans, mulikuwa mnacheka. Sasa mumeanza kuona mambo enakuwa serious.
But that ocean belongs to me. Because where is my ocean? I am entitled to that ocean. In the future, we are going to have wars. In the future, we are going to have wars. How can you just watch these people? You are really endangering yourself. How can you have a situation like this? Uganda is landlocked inside here. But where is my ocean? My ocean is the Indian Ocean. So, this is madness.
That is the type of president we have in Africa. That is the Ugandan president. That is the Ugandan president saying there will be problems, oh, there will be war, oh, blah, 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 between Uganda and Kenya because of the Indian Ocean. Like, yo, even if we want to put it like face to face, is he ready? Does he have the necessary equipment to face Kenya? And why should we even be using
Even if we make this democratic, even if we make it democratic, we go for a vote, we see what Suluhu is saying, we see what Salva Kiir is saying, Tshisekedi, and the rest, and the other two, you will see. You don't have the votes, even if we don't go to war, even if we just go to, to ask the other members of the community, Kenyans, please give up. Kenyans, do like how you did it, Bojingo. You remember Bojingo? Yes, make peace. Just make an agreement, give us way to the Indian Ocean. Oh, Ugandans, we are going to swim in the Ugandan Ocean. To claim the ocean, that means the land is already covered. By the way,